Hello, everybody. Welcome back to L1 Links with Friends. Today is October 22nd. We're doing security and... I immediately forgot.
Oh, what do we always do on Wednesday?
Business. Okay. I don't know. I was thinking social, and I was like, we just did social.
You could have also just looked at the story.
No.
On the screen.
No.
Well, there's your streak.
Yeah, I was doing pretty good there for a little bit.
You were doing good in October, but it's done now.
I context switched. I looked at my phone to look at some work tasks, and then I came back, and it was
Just
like
like
everything
those
was
kids
gone.
that we talked about in the previous episode.
Neuroplasticity.
Yes. So, again, unsorted this week, but, a rough sort. This is the only generic story we had. I couldn't categorize this in the hardware or software. This is just some bad news.
India's largest software company, TCS, has forced thousands of employees to quit, the unions allege. Yes, there is a crucible of things going on right now. Only if you're actually an incredible programmer will you continue to have a programming job, which is wild because that means no one's coming behind you. Like, there's not another generation of programmers being trained.
In about 20 years, when all that software needs to be, updated and worked on, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
So the strategy here, according to these employees, is that you were taken off of your projects, and then you were like, okay, what's my new project? And they're like, I don't know, go find one. And then if you couldn't find one, which there was maybe no precedent for having to do that yourself, during your next review, they'd be like, where's your projects? We're going to have to let you go. So the unions are saying, you can't do that. Also, maternity leave. Everybody was called back from maternity. And some people were called back from sick leave. And if you didn't come back, you're fired. Now, we got a couple, I don't know, these are not going to be sorted together. We got a couple of, escape the surveillance state phone stories this week. There's one of them.
GrapheneOS is finally ready to break free from pixels, and it may never look back. This is from Android Authority. There's a lot happening here because of changes that Google has made to the Android ecosystem, and it is difficult to unpack that along with hey, these are going to be new Snapdragon phones that do interesting stuff with, uncoupled Android, or not even Android. GrapheneOS is going to have to build things around it, kind of like China.
And we don't know who yet, but the people are suspecting it's the Nothing phone. So you might be able to get the Nothing phone completely free of Google.
Remember Huawei and Harmony OS and that kind of thing? It's interesting because we may end up with, this is not in the article, this is me looking at it from the outside in, is are we going to end up with the enemy of my enemy is my friend type situation, cross-pollination with a lot of Chinese software development? Because open source, in China, open source software development, good stuff is ramping hard. I've seen really killer Chinese language NAS operating systems and just all kinds of home lab stuff. It's exploding. It's honestly, it's really exciting because we may be able to, co-opt and use and collaborate on stuff there, and it'll be fun and interesting.
And they were sorted together. Oh, just a blessing from the gods.
Free Software Foundation announces the LibrePhone project because, here we are 20 years later when it's the worst surveillance state it could possibly be. There you go.
You probably give up a lot of convenience doing that, but it might be necessary soon.
Yeah. The more this stuff happens, the more I'm like, man, maybe it's time to look at Linux. But
now here's a great, a lesson for why would I ever deal with that level of annoyance? Why would I not just take the standard thing? Well, here you go.
DirecTV will soon bring AI ads to your screensaver.
If there was ever a reason to get rid of DirecTV, there's another one.
But at this point, the only people using DirecTV are going to love this. Or just silently.
They don't care. Yeah. They just have the TV on for noise.
The read of this made it seem like they want to put pictures of you and your family in the ad.
So there will be an app that gets integrated, and you take pictures of yourself with the app. And then it puts you in the clothing that it's advertising to you on the screen, and then you can buy it through AI as well.
See, also the stories we always talk about how AI tells people like Boris Johnson, "You're really clever. That's really amazing." Imagine the AI. Look how good you look. Oh, you're right. Here, have $100.
Oh, you're so hot. But if you had this suit, it would really take you up.
It's gonna be like a Photoshop version of yourself too, where it's look
how
nice and trim your waist is, and
it's not even gonna be Photoshop. It's gonna be AI generated. Your hands are gonna be all messed up.
You have multiple fingers.
What kind of content can we do to help people inoculate themselves from that kind of hijinks?
But see, I don't think Boris Johnson wants to be inoculated. He likes it. He wants more.
He wants the steak.
And nowadays we're describing cars as smartphones on wheels, and that comes with some very obvious limitations. If you just think about just the phrase, like, what about a smartphone do we not want to apply to cars?
Software update bricks some Jeep 4xe hybrids over the weekend. Why does the entertainment system have the ability to brick the car?
I'm imagining like you're driving somewhere and it's like update now, and then it just auto restarts, and then you're just screwed.
Aren't those like in the traditional CAN bus? Isn't there like firewalling to keep that from?
Yeah.
The crazy thing about this is after the update, it doesn't immediately get bricked. It waits till you're driving, until you're in motion for this failure to happen. So they're saying if you didn't update, don't, and if you did, don't drive the car.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a good solution that is.
I'm never going to buy a computerized car.
It's hard not to find, like, we had to look quite a bit.
I'm going to be one of those people that, it's already kind of like the only electronics that are in the house is the printer and if
Keep a loaded gun next to it.
Yeah, if the printer makes a noise I don't recognize, the printer gets shot.
But in 10 years, your only option is to buy an ancient car and replace every sensor preemptively.
Yeah.
Because they all fail eventually.
You know what I've discovered that is delightful? And that is China is making parts for 20, like 10, 20, 30-year-old Kias. And you can import those with impunity. So you can, we might have like the KitchenAid car design where it's just like, oh yes, this is the time immemorial car where anybody with a lathe or a mill can make replacement parts for whatever.
And the trade war between the U.S. and China, as we've mentioned, has been heating up. And one of the things that came from that was China restricted the rare earths, and Trump responded, as he always does, by screaming tariff and threatening 100%, which roiled the markets a bit.
Crypto crash. Bitcoin and Ethereum plummet after Trump imposes 100% tariffs on China starting November 1st. Just a couple of weeks. It's fun. It's great.
Still
He'll
down.
walk it back, right?
No,
right?
Still down. Still, I think it's less than 110 still today. Yeah, did not make it back.
Meanwhile, gold is what, like 4,500?
Another all-time high.
Yeah.
It's really feels like the whole monetary system might be unraveling.
Maybe I should get a real wood stove. Maybe I should get some solar panels.
Or maybe you want to invest in this. I don't know if it'll be publicly traded when it makes it over to the U.S., but they got a new owner.
NSO to be acquired by U.S. investors, ending Israeli control of Pegasus maker. Now, remember, we reported, what was it, last week, the week before? The DOJ is picking up some Pegasus licenses to be able to use on citizens.
This was purchased by a Hollywood producer, which it's not really his wheelhouse, is it? Or maybe you could argue that it is, and propaganda was always the goal. But yeah, the SEC has to approve this, which they probably will.
When I heard it was a Hollywood producer, I immediately remember the Iran thing where they smuggled people out, and it's like, has Hollywood always been an apparatus of the intelligence thing, not just propaganda, but also like for moving things around?
There's certainly some arguments that seem to point toward that. Who can say? And gaming, it used to be, gamers were nerds and losers, and it'll rot your brain, and it's bad for you, and so forth. And slowly, we've all grown up. Now we're in charge.
You're still nerds and losers, but you're older now.
And so we have some stats here that show that maybe not the stigma that it always was.
ESA report shows the average gamer is 41, and nearly half of them are women. Gaming has come a long way.
Did you laugh at this picture? He's drinking 2 drinks.
It's probably AI
There's
generated.
another controller there, so maybe his friend is peeing right now.
But he's playing by himself and he's winning.
He's just taking advantage of the other one's absence to score goals.
I'm still not a fan of controller play.
Same.
I've gotten better at controller play with the Steam Deck, but I still prefer mouse and keyboard.
I don't get that because it's all we had for a long time.
I know.
Like we grew up with those.
When I first started PC gaming, I actually struggled with the keyboard quite a bit, and now I vastly prefer it.
I remember going from Doom, which you just used the keyboard. Almost no one used the mouse for Doom. And then to Quake, and I was like, what?
There's a whole other axis
I can
to look at.
around.
Yeah.
Well, I had a much better kill-death ratio using the Gravis gamepad with Doom than the keyboard.
Yeah, because I mean, there really was no 3D. I mean, it was kind of 3-dimensional, but not really. And the China trade war has claimed some more victims. This actually happened before the other stuff, I think. But a lot of, like we banned certain companies and, these Amazon listings, they still sell them.
Yeah.
And so I guess the government has finally had enough.
Major U.S. online retailers removed listings for millions of prohibited Chinese electronics. The thing the Reuters headline or the Reuters article missed completely on this is also shippers like DHL have rejected individual shipments. So if you order something, a lot of the time these were drop shippers. And so that's the other reason that they're removing these is you can no longer get them drop shipped. DHL and UPS International, I think is the other one, simply are not equipped to deal with the paperwork and insanity of that. And so just like, oh, this is an individual order, rejected. We don't want it.
So ZTE, Hikvision, and Huawei among the names that will be rejected. So that's some big ones. And we've been following the saga of the Microsoft HoloLens, the military version of it, the military HoloLens, after the commercial one flopped spectacularly. And then the military one also flopped spectacularly as the soldiers were vomiting after using it. So that hot potato was passed off to none other than Palmer Luckey and his evil corporation. Now we're ready for the next iteration.
Our Luckey's Anduril launches EagleEye military helmet with help from his buddy Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah.
So this is going to be AI in the helmet, in the pop-up display of the glasses.
Remind me again, was this the company that we heard about last week or the week before that they did like a field exercise and they were dangerously insecure?
Yeah, they let every role have the same permission.
Oh, damn it. We have the consumer grade ones. It's like popping up with ads on the battlefield.
Although, if you recall, remember when we invaded Afghanistan and the soldiers were reporting that they needed their parents to buy them body armor because the government wouldn't? Like, that could be a huge revenue stream for the government.
Wow.
Sell the soldiers the supplies they need while they're deployed. Why not? Like prison commissary. And Internet of Things. If you bought them, some time has passed, and you now will regret it. And you will always regret it. Stop doing it.
Bose SoundTouch home theater systems regress into dumb speakers on February 18th. You're not going to be able to use it with an app anymore.
But they'll still work.
With a wire.
That's all right.
I mean, all the things that they sold you, it was a very expensive speaker at the time. It won't do any of those things anymore. The app just simply will not recognize it. The app still exists for newer products, by the way. But not for this one. And the Cybertruck. It has become a symbol of political ideology or maybe just affluence. Whatever it is, everyone hates it.
Spit on, sworn at, and undeterred. What it's like to own a Cybertruck. So the Wired has an article that has interviews with people that own Cybertrucks and the madness that goes with that.
I do cringe when I see one in real life.
So ugly.
They're really ugly.
Someone, like, as one of these interviews was taking place, they were like standing next to the truck, and the interviewer actually witnessed one of the assaults, or the verbal assaults.
Oh, wow.
That said something like, your truck is stupid or whatever.
I'm not going to say anything, but I'm judging you deep inside.
Yeah. Well, I do that for all electric vehicles.
I don't do that. I don't care about vehicles that much, but these are just, they so stand out in a very unfortunate way.
Well, I didn't include the story, but also apparently they're having such a hard time selling them that he is now selling them internally to SpaceX and XAI. So they're getting those as fleet vehicles. Which is
It's crazy how you can just do that. Just,
seems like you could get some cheaper fleet vehicles.
Yeah.
Your shareholders might not like that. And China trade war, one of the big, like, we seem to be losing pretty hard from that, the American citizen. But China's getting hit hard too because a lot of their jobs are just evaporating as companies are not willing to take that risk.
Microsoft Surface and data center production to be moved out of China by 2026, claims report. Components, parts, and assembly of laptops and servers moving to counter trade war uncertainty.
Good news for India and Vietnam. And it's been a while now. We've gotten used to a world where the internet can come from the sky at any time if you're willing to pay enough of a price. And
You make it sound like a weapon. Like, it's going to hit me.
just wait. But it keeps getting better, and also the old ones keep falling into the atmosphere, so we have to keep putting new ones up there.
SpaceX shows off massive new V3 Starlink satellites. They've got Starlink Heavy now, so there's no longer any kind of weight restrictions. The expanded technology will deliver gigabit internet to customers for the first time and enable 60 terabits per second of downlink capacity.
That's nice. When we're living in the woods and trying to stay away from the robots, actually, that probably won't help us, right? They'll be able to
The
look at
heat
us.
seek, yeah.
I also think this is one of the few areas where Elmo legitimately got screwed by the government, because he did, like, this does meet the definition of broadband. And it's like, as sad as it is, the terrestrial companies didn't run fiber everywhere. Like, this does meet the definition of broadband. And he got screwed out of the subsidies for that, or whatever. I would much rather, if it's a choice of incumbent companies that have already wasted billions of dollars and not done what they promised, and Elmo, I'd rather Elmo have it, which is sad. It's very sad. It pains me to say that, but it's fine.
Hey, moving on to the security section, it's the usual security stuff, horrible flaws, and you have to patch.
F5 says hackers stole undisclosed big IP flaws and source code. Yeah, F5 is your ingress and your load balancer. We're gonna have new news stories about people that didn't update in 1 to 5 months, and it is going to be OPM hack levels of insanity.
And if you're one of these people who is trying to do your own thing, escape the planned obsolescence, escape the surveillance state, you still are not as safe from these security vulnerabilities.
Secure boot bypass risk threatens nearly 200,000 Linux framework laptops. So there was a bit of a problem in the bootloader where the first part was secure boot, but then after that it didn't necessarily check to see if the rest of the code was secure boot. Whoops.
And if you've got an old satellite dish laying around somewhere, you might be able to have a good time with it, because some researchers have determined, just by pointing theirs at the sky, that not paying attention to security, well, that's not just on Earth.
Satellites are leaking the world's secrets, calls, text, military, and corporate data. They got out, 2 million text messages from T-Mobile?
Now,
I had that for T-Mobile.
It wasn't like plain text, but it wasn't so hard that a group of, computer science college students couldn't unravel it pretty easily. There was no encryption, no express encryption. And they found that pretty much everybody doing these satellite communications was not worried about it. You only get one side of the conversation here, but still, that's enough.
Yeah.
See, also embassies in Washington, D.C. have all those passive listening devices on them.
And the DDoSing just keeps getting better and better because we all have unsecured devices in our homes.
DDoS botnet, Aisuru, is that how you say that? I don't know. Blankets U.S. ISPs and record distributed denial of service attacks. So AT&T and Comcast.
These are old routers and cameras and so forth, and it just keeps gobbling up more and more. The botnet just keeps getting bigger. Keeps breaking its own record.
Those Bose speakers we learned about, it's like
Oh, no.
You got a choice of breaking them or...
Yeah, they're definitely going to be attacking. They're definitely going to be attacking any sort of website that tries to expose ICE agents.
Which is worrying.
And when we get breaches, one of the things you have to worry about is that they will by default say, oh, it's not that big a deal. Oh, it was limited, what they got. Don't worry, it's probably not going to affect you. And then over time, we find out that it affects literally everybody.
There's a follow-up here. SonicWall data breach affects all cloud backup customers, literally everybody. What's in your router backup? Well, encrypted versions of your configuration parameters, maybe enough to get VPN access, maybe enough to get remote access. In time, we'll see.
And at first they were like, oh, this is just certain. No, it was all the users. If you had a cloud backup, they got it. So it's just a matter of when they can break that encryption. And finally, you're not allowed to do this with a legal app. So we'll get the black hats have to take over here. And they seem to have done quite the job.
Hackers dox hundreds of Trump's masked ICE agents. A group of hackers has released the personal info of hundreds of Homeland Security and Justice Department officials. What this article misses is that this is an escalation, but not in the way that you think.
But even with this, it's still super imbalanced, right?
Yeah.
The agents still have way more information on all of us
Yeah.
than we have on them, which is somehow allowed.
Also masked agents. I mean, like,
At least in Illinois, they're not supposed to be anymore. It's like, no, you have to wear identifying stuff all the time. Also, body cams.
otherwise people think that, I mean, like, anyone could just walk up to anyone and be like, oh, I'm an ICE agent. Come with me. Like, why would I believe you?
Which that does happen a lot now with cops. Like, people pretend to be cops.
Yeah.
And when you say, like, well, how am I supposed to know? How am I supposed to vet that you're actually a cop? They'll be like, oh, call 911. You try to do that in an interaction with a law enforcement officer, they will beat you. They will put you on the ground and they will cuff you. You will not be calling 911. So, yeah, it's a problem that there is no solution for.
I'm sure.
Well, I mean, these guys found one.
I'm sure it's some kind of AI propaganda, but there have been videos posted on the internet from Illinois where that played out, and enough bystanders called 911 that then they took off. That seems weird.
You say that this is a way to fight back, but this is actually going to feed the machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is going to spark more. You know what? This might have actually been the government.
But
Yeah.
what would you do? How do you fight back? Like, what, do you just let it happen? Like,
We're not allowed to say that.
One thing that seems to be happening a little differently this time is that, you know, at least like in Louisville, when there was some unrest in Louisville, it was definitely the case that, you know, at least in one neighborhood, a couple of times that the people that were there under the color of law enforcement were escalating in violent ways, more than the protesters, including up to like one guy that runs a restaurant got killed by the law enforcement.
there was a clip out of Louisville around that same time where, like, someone was on their porch, like, on their property after curfew. They pointed a camera at the cop, and the cop shot at him.
Yeah. What's happening this time is that those things are still happening, but everybody has their cell phone out recording it from 7 different angles. And so we have, you know, bad shaky cam footage, but we have 7 different angles of bad shaky cam footage. And perhaps we are better able to unpack what actually happened.
All of which is being ingested by AI.
Yeah.
Who's working to determine how to stop that from happening.
How to make
Or
your
it's-
phone delete the footage.
Yeah, or it's going to release other AI edited footage that says, oh, but look from this angle, nothing bad happened. So clearly we can't know what happened.
Yeah, the system that Sony wants to be on your phone to say it's like, oh, I can't find your license for this, we should delete it, is exactly the same system that is, oh, we should probably remove this video from the internet and make sure that it doesn't exist.
Spread, right?
And that sounds like it would be impossible computationally, but I assure you it's not, because Google Drive is already being scanned in exactly this way. It's just the scope of what they're scanning for will continue to increase.
Anyway, send help. Love you. Bye.